Welcome to World News by Denis Halandzovskyi. If you value calm, accurate, and fact-based reporting on world events, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your perspective. Today, we look at a serious development: the Russian government's claim that Ukraine attempted to target President Vladimir Putin. We examine the details released so far, how Kyiv has responded, and what it means in the context of the ongoing war. In official statements, Russian authorities allege that Ukrainian forces were behind an attempt to strike President Vladimir Putin or members of Russia's top leadership. Moscow has characterized the incident as an act of aggression beyond the usual battlefield engagements, describing it not as a military encounter but as a politically motivated targeting of the head of state. Russian state media and government spokespeople said that the alleged incident occurred near a location connected to Putin's activities, though details have been limited. Officials framed the claim as evidence of what they describe as Ukraine's willingness to escalate beyond conventional engagements and into politically symbolic targets. The accusations have been reiterated across official channels, including statements from the Foreign Ministry and military press offices, presenting the narrative that Ukraine crossed a threshold in conduct. Russia's security apparatus said it was investigating and emphasized that any such attempt would be treated as an act of terrorism or foreign hostility. It is important to note that independent confirmation of the claim is scarce. Outside Russian official sources, there has been no verified evidence released that conclusively supports the accusation. Western governments and independent analysts have not corroborated the specific claim that Ukraine directly sought to strike President Putin. In contrast, Ukraine's government has dismissed the allegations as unfounded and part of a broader pattern of disinformation aimed at justifying internal security measures and shaping international perception of the conflict. Kyiv characterized the claims as politically motivated, arguing that Russia has an incentive to frame its military and political challenges in a way that bolsters domestic support and external narratives. The discrepancy between Moscow's claim and Kyiv's denial highlights how information and conflicting narratives remains an active front in the wider conflict. Both sides deploy messaging strategies that serve political as well as military objectives. The impact of these claims extends beyond the initial accusation. First, domestic politics in Russia. By presenting Ukraine as responsible for an attempted attack on the president, Russian authorities may be seeking to consolidate public opinion, strengthen internal cohesion, and reinforce support for ongoing military operations. Amid economic pressures and prolonged conflict, framing external threats in dramatic terms can be a tool for bolstering national unity and suppressing dissent. Second, the information environment of the conflict. In modern warfare, strategic communication plays a central role. Accusations of high-profile attacks, whether verified or not, influence diplomatic dialogue, media coverage, and public sentiment. Governments around the world must weigh official statements with independent verification, mindful that misinformation and propaganda are common in high-stakes conflicts. Third, international response. Western governments typically urge restraint and emphasize the need for credible evidence before drawing conclusions. Allies of Ukraine have reiterated their support for Kyiv's defense while calling for transparent investigation processes. Diplomatic partners, including European states and the United States, have so far not endorsed Russia's specific claims, focusing instead on de-escalation and accountability, grounded in verifiable facts. Fourth, the potential for escalation. Accusations of targeting a head of state can heighten tensions and reduce space for dialogue. Even without confirmation, the mere claim increases pressure on both sides. For Ukraine, such allegations can be used, fairly or unfairly, to justify intensified military or security measures. For Russia, the narrative reinforces the portrayal of existential threat and may influence strategic decision-making. Analysts emphasize that independent and transparent investigation is critical. In conflicts with competing narratives, establishing what actually occurred requires corroborated evidence from neutral observers or third-party verification, not only government claims. For now, the situation remains a developing story. The contrasting statements from Moscow and Kyiv reflect a broader pattern in the war: competing narratives, strategic communication, and the struggle to control not just physical territory but international opinion. Thank you for watching this report on World News by Denis Halandzovskyi. If you found this explanation clear and helpful, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your thoughts. Independent reporting helps us navigate complex, evolving stories with clarity. Stay informed, and see you in the next update.